Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the new Doctor Who specials for the 60th anniversary. I think the first special started in November and then the two other specials started in December. The specials are called The Star Beast, Wild Beyond and The Giggle, and they all interconnect into each one. Although the first one, which is the Star Beast, is kind of like related to the comics of Doctor Who. There was a thing I remember watching that was on YouTube a time back, which was going on about, you know, the comics and everything to do with the little Meep and the monsters. They're all related to the comics in some way. But I won't. The specials will be in no particular order. They won't be in chronological order. I'll just be talking about from the last episode that I've seen, and then I will go on about the other two because I have to kind of remember what happened in them ones as well. So in this one, I'll be talking about the Giggle in this. As you know, I've been a very big fan of Doctor Who for many years. One of my fans on my channel, who's called ASMR Wishes, wanted me to talk about Doctor Who on my channel. I think I started watching Doctor Who relatively when I was like really young, as well. And my favourite Doctor is of course David Tennant from Doctor Who. Is the best Doctor. He was the 10th Doctor originally, but in this he's the 14th. I'm kind of glad that it's kind of gone back to its original writing now because I didn't like the 13th Doctor. She was a woman and I wasn't a big fan, and I stopped watching it after the 13th. I watched it up to the 12th, but I missed a few episodes with the 12th Doctor as well, so I don't really know what. I have to like kind of go back to them ones at some point and like kind of watch them. But I do know some of the 12 Doctors episodes. But before I start to talk about the specials of Doctor Who, please like this video and please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you're updated about any future videos. I'm gonna talk about my TikTok. I have a TikTok that I've recently just done. It was probably months back now, and all I do on my TikTok is I basically use filters and add music over the top of them as a way of fun. I don't really do anything else on there as of yet. But if you want to follow me on TikTok, I will leave a link in the description box below, and also have Instagram too, so if you have that, I'll leave that in the description box too. This is going to be a soft spoken video, guys, so I'm not going to be whispering in this. And I've also got this chewing gum that I'm going to be chewing and I'm going to be rambling to you about, so try and shake it each side so that it's binaural. I'm sorry that I haven't got my hair down today. It's just my hair is really greasy when it's down, when it's wet, because I only just recently washed it, and if I put it down it'd be all greasy and horrible, so I've just kept it up in the bun for this time being, for this video, so that no one cares how I look. Anyway, so I'm just gonna get some chewing gum and I will start. I think it's best if I talk to you about the story behind probably like Donna and the Doctor that's gone on so far in previous Doctor Who's, if you haven't watched it. And then people could sort of get what it's actually about. Yeah, I've got some chewing gum, so I'm going to take about 3 for this video. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna explain a bit about the story behind Doctor and the Genre. And Catherine Tate and David Tennant have come back for these specials because, in a way, from the previous ending of How Donna Turned Out, they've kind of brought it all back. They've probably brought it back to make Doctor Who's like writing a bit more better now, because it did from the previous Doctor, which I can't remember her name, who was the 13th Doctor. They've tried to make it a bit more better now. The writers have come back, and obviously I can't believe it's 60 years that Doctor Who has been going. I watched it back in the day when Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant was right on the scene. I've watched a few of the old ones. I think Tom Baker and Sylvester McCoy. I have to say Sylvester McCoy is like the 7th Doctor. Has to be my second favourite Doctor Who. And I think I like the Doctor Who movie as well. I watched that. But yeah, I've loved Doctor Who for years. So we'll go on about the story of the Doctor and Donna first. As you know, Donna is a companion of the Doctor's. They roughly met each other at Christmas one year, and the episode was called Runaway Bride. And then they briefly met up with each other again in another episode, which was Partners in Crime. And as you know from the previous ending of Doctor Who, Donna became this sort of kind of took in the Doctor's regeneration sort of power and became the Doctor Donna. But it came with a price, and the Doctor had to erase her memory so that she wouldn't remember who he was. And then it carried on going on for years, even from the end of time as well. But now, roughly, this is sort of Doctor Who where she sort of thinks she remembers that she had something better beforehand, but can't quite remember it. But the Doctor comes back and sort of brings back all of her memories back so that she can remember. I'm going to talk on about the Giggle, which is the special I watched previously on Saturday that has just gone. It won't be in order, this. And the Giggle, I will tell you why it's called the Giggle later on. But first, there's an enemy in the Giggle, which is called the Celestial Toymaker, who first appeared in an old Doctor Who episode. And that was with William Hartnell. And I think the original Toymaker was called Michael Gugg. So yeah, and basically the Celestial Toymaker is this sort of alien or enemy that plays everyone at his own game, basically. I think in the original, because it was like black and white, you had Michael Gogg, who was a Toymaker, who was playing the Doctor, was playing games with all the companions of the Doctor, and the Doctor had to beat him to destroy him. I mean, in my opinion, I think Neil Patrick Harris nailed who is the new Toymaker. Really nailed the character down to a T. It's a sort of new approach to the character now, and then rather than the old approach where it was like old fashioned and all that. So I say they're both different character. They're both different in so many ways. The reason why it's called the Giggle this episode is because in the episode there's this like someone is given this puppet, or like I don't know if it's a ventriloquist puppet or a puppet in any which way, and he gives it to him as like a gift. This guy in the episode, I don't know who he is, but it's just some guy, and he's in this sort of toy shop, and he gives him this toy, and this toy sort of infiltrates the giggle in some respect once it's on the screen, and it makes people sort of lose their mind and start destroying other people. And from a previous episode, which was Wild at the End, the Doctor and Donna land from the end episode of that. They land in this place, which is where there's lots of chaos happening. There's people fighting each other. There's a plane that goes right across. There's a big massive explosion eventually, and obviously this was probably the ending of the previous episode was probably the last time you ever see Burning Cribbins, who is Donna's grandfather, who is Alfred Mott. Is it Alfred Mott or Albert Mott? I can't remember his name now. Gonna annoy me. And Wilfred, that's it, sorry, Wilfred Mott. Sorry, I got confused. And I'm so really incredibly sad he's gone now, because Bernard Cribbins has been in like some of the old Doctor Who's, and he's voiced a lot of people, and it's just a lot of people admire him from a young age until now. And that's probably the last episode that he was in, but you briefly see him at the end, and the Doctor and Nana come out and they hug him, and he says, "Oh, I can't believe it's you, Doctor," and everything. I mean, he's in a wheelchair in the episode, because I think it was where he was like really, really old. He was in his like 90s. It made me kind of cry a little bit, because I liked him as Donna's grandfather, and it was such a shame that he's not here no more. You know, so rest in peace to Bernard Cribbins, because he was amazing. But anyway, then all this chaos happens, and it leads into, and then you have to watch the next episode to know what happens, and it's called The Giggle. And that's why it's called The Giggle anyway. And then obviously, the first bit of the Doctor Who episode of this special, The Giggle, is with this Celestial Time Maker who's in this toy shop. It starts with where he's in this toy shop, and this guy comes in to buy a gift in this town. And I don't know who he is, but he's just some guy. I don't know his character or anything, but anyway, the toy maker is this sort of, is Neil Patrick Harris, and he has this sort of Swedish kind of German accent, I would say. And he's like, he's buying this present for somebody, and he said it's not for a child, it's for an invention of some kind. And what was creepy about him is that he sits there, or stands there, sorry, behind this counter, this like, where there's loads of toys and everything in this shop, and he starts like kind of like doing this little giggle, and it's really creepy. To me, it was really creepy, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what the hell is this? And then obviously he goes away and takes his stone, and then they basically infiltrate this sort of like dummy or puppet on the screen, and this like giggle pops up, and it basically makes them turn into these like sort of like mental people, like crazy people. I'm pretty sure that the way my life has been going right now, I'm pretty sure it's probably happened to me. Like, I'm sure I don't probably have one of those things, because they wear these sort of like chip things on their arms so that they don't turn like crazy, in effect, and they don't go mental. And then basically they all lose their mind because of this giggle, and that's how it begins. The only problem with Doctor Who as well, that I'm not a big fan of, because I think they've constantly kept changing the theme over the years, but for the 60th anniversary, And I'm not a big fan of the theme, the new theme that they've made up for it, because I didn't quite like it. But you know, it's all good because it kind of had that like old-fashioned Doctor Who style to it, and then it's got a newer tone to it, and I'm not a big fan. But I'm really glad that David Tennant came back as a 14th Doctor. Anyway, so the Doctor and Donna in this end up meeting up with UNIT, and you obviously have the woman from UNIT and another woman who helps, and you also have a reoccurring person that has appeared in a previous Doctor Who episode. I'm not sure if it's connected to the original Time Maker or who was just there, but it's an old Doctor Who assistant, and it's Bonnie Langford. It's played by Bonnie Langford. And she looks good now for her age now. When I saw her, she looked really good. And she's the Doctor and Donna have to kind of work out what's going on with the world and the planet, and they end up finding out that it's this giggle that sort of infiltrates everyone and makes them turn crazy. And they have these little things on their arms so it stops them from going crazy. And basically what happens is the woman from UNIT who's got blonde hair, who I don't remember her name, she basically switches off her device and she turns all crazy and starts going at everybody. And then obviously Donna works out that it's some kind of, the giggle is some sort of tune, and she works it out on like a brainwave thing, because they show a brainwave frequency thing, and she works it out as like a tone. And then they say, what actually is it that's causing that? And she said it's been around for ages, like this tune and stuff. I feel like I've seen it before. The Doctor puts on this, finds out what has infiltrated this giggle and makes them play it. And then they say, the Doctor tells everyone to look into the giggle. And then he kind of works it out that like the person that's behind all of this is the Celestial Time Maker, of course, who is Neil Patrick Harris, who in my opinion, the roles have sort of modernised now. And I do feel like from the old Michael Gove one from back in the day to now, they've made the Time Maker sort of modernised, and I do believe that he was made for that role because he was brilliant in that episode, in that Doctor Who special. I loved him. He made me laugh, and he made me sort of annoyed at the same time because I wanted to. And he was kind of creepy to me as well in the episode, so yeah, in a way it was a bit weird. Anyway, the Doctor and Donna end up turning up at this toy shop because the Doctor finds this toy shop, and obviously the Celestial Time Maker says something like along the lines of, oh, we've met each other before, in that Swedish German accent, and he knows who he is. The Doctor, he works it out who he actually is. And then what happens is they end up getting separated, the Doctor and Donna, in like this room afterwards, but they sort of have a confrontation. There's a toy maker, and the Doctor and Donna, and he goes, oh look, it's Donna, and oh, it's the Doctor. You've met me before, and he sort of talks Swedish and then German, but then a few times he does break from his accent and goes into like a sort of normal accent, because he does it with the guy at the beginning as well. And then what happens is they end up getting trapped in this room, and it's kind of like they have to play the Toy Maker. Toy Maker's games. And I kind of guessed that he would be going against the Toy Maker, and I kind of guessed it would be interconnected with the other one, because in Blue Wild Yonder, which I'll talk about the episode in another video, there was a triangle on the floor, and I've seen that triangle image before because I saw it from the trailer, and there was a bit where he said it's the giggle that's controlling them, and I knew that it was connected. And when we've got to, you have to kind of work things out of what's going on. But yeah, it was. They end up in this room and they end up trapped, and there's so many, and it's a bit like when you have a dream. It's like one of my dreams that I have where I end up going missing. Well, where I end up lost, sorry. And I'm walking around through all these doors and I don't know where I'm going. And it's kind of like that. And there's so many doors in this hallway. And they open each door and it basically doesn't do anything. They end up just pretty much walking around in circles. And obviously then there's this bit where the Doctor and Donna eventually, because she walks through a door, they end up separated from each other. Before they end up separated though, there is a scene where they're together. And it's quite an emotional sort of bonding scene where he says, you know, I don't know whether I'll be able to get you out of this alive. And they sort of talk to each other. And then anyway, they end up going in these rooms and they end up trapped. And then what happens is the Doctor ends up in this room where there's this guy, and it's the guy from the beginning. And he's sort of turned into some kind of puppet eventually, because he finds out that he's not made of person and he's a puppet. And the puppet master has him on some strings and he's controlling him. And he said something beforehand like, I'm really, really sorry, it was the giggle. It turned me into something else, and we was working on something or whatever, and because there was an inventor who was helping. I got a bit freaked out at the beginning of the episode, I think, because it was just sort of the dummy face and the puppet face. I'm not a big lover of them, and like I was like kind of turning away and like kind of closing my eyes at that point when I kept seeing it on the screen. But I think it was just to infiltrate the giggle part, and the giggle part was really freaky, just the sound of it and everything. And so anyway, he's a puppet, and then he's controlling him. And it's basically, he says you've got to play him a game and everything. And then Donna's in another room where there's all these other puppets. And I actually kind of find there's like a little woman puppet that comes up to Donna. She's kind of a bit cute, I think. And Donna ends up kicking her and actually smashing her to pieces. And I actually felt like sorry for her, because I was like, oh, I really liked her because she was really cute. And then there was these little babies, and then what made it funny was like Donna just said, oh, have you got anything to add to the baby puppets? And it was funny. And then obviously they find each other again, the Doctor and Donna, and basically what happens is the Doctor ends up putting the Toy Maker in this like box. Well, not the Toy Maker, but the Toy Maker's house in this hat, and in this little sort of like box which has like sort of the card symbols on it, like the spades, ace of spades, and the heart and everything. And they take it to Unit, and then Unit have it then. And then this was the best ever part for me in the Doctor Who episode, is Neil Patrick Harris walks him dancing as several versions of himself to Spice Up My Life by Spice Girls. And I remember when I was 6 listening to that song, and it just brings back so many memories of that song. I loved it, and he's just dancing around to Spice Up My Life by Spice Girls. I found it absolutely funny, because he just appeared out of one box and then another, and then he appears at the side of this woman who's part of Unit, and he's on the phone, and it's really funny. It's like a dance sequence, and I absolutely loved it. And then after that, they sort of meet outside, and the doctor is there with Donna and Bonnie Langford and everyone outside, and they have to stop the toy maker, in effect. And he's on this sort of like gun thing where he's shooting at everyone. He shoots at even, tries to shoot at the unit men. And then obviously the doctor says, your fight is with me and not them, so you do it with me. And he's got his normal accent, and he's saying, you'll have to beat me at my own game. Basically, you have to beat my game for you to win and get rid of me, like in the previous sort of first Doctor appearance. And then so they have a game for each other, but he ends up shooting the Doctor, as he says, I shoot you, I've dealt with you once, I've dealt with you twice, with a different face, and now, and then the third will be the Doctor that comes after you, which is the 15th Doctor. And I can't pronounce his name, the 15th Doctor. If anyone knows how to pronounce it or say it for me, please let me know, because I do want to sort of know how you say it. I think I have my phone here actually. I could probably look it up actually. But the 15th Doctor is got this weird name anyway. I'm trying to think if I can find him. Find out his name. I'll look it up anyway at the end. But basically he shoots him, and I was gonna be quite emotional at this scene, because where David Tennant has regenerated once before, I thought, oh no, this is gonna be the last time we ever see him, and I was gonna get really emotional, but I didn't, because they just basically shot him, and he ended up breaking away into two Doctors, so that it was the David Tennant was 14th Doctor was there, and then the 15th Doctor was there with him. And they end up playing this game anyway. They end up playing the Toy Makers game, and they have to win. And it's basically catching the ball without dropping it. And they eventually play his game and win. Well, obviously, no, there's a bit before that Donna and Bonnie Langford, whose character I don't know, but she's an assistant, she used to know him, they watch him regenerate, and then he ends up forming into two people, and then you have the 14th and the 15th, and they play his game, and then eventually the Toy Maker turns into sort of cardboard cutout, and ends up folding into each other, and then ends up folded into the box. And they close the box, and then the box gets taken away with the woman from UNIT into a safe space. And basically, it ends where you have the 15th Doctor and the 14th Doctor, and they make two TARDISes. Eventually, which are identically the same. So he has a TARDIS and goes away in it, and the 14th Doctor has his. So in some ways, it's kind of still open for David Tennant, the Doctor Who, to kind of return in other sort of Doctor Who episodes if possible. I kind of think Donna had a very good ending this time. It wasn't sad, because at the end they have this sort of dinner with each other, and even though Bernard Cribbins, who is Wilfred Mott, isn't there, she's got her daughter Rose and her mum and everyone, they're all having dinner at their house, and the Doctor joins them and talks about how he's had many adventures with this face, and how how he's gonna miss it and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode of The Giggle. I'm sorry if this video was really, really long. I didn't intend for it to be. But hopefully I've explained the Giggle special. The next special I'll be talking about is Wild Blue Yonder, which I know pretty much about. But hopefully ASMR Wishes enjoys this video of me talking about it as well. But before I go, I'm gonna try to show you his name, and if anyone can pronounce, if you're watching till the end, if anyone can pronounce his name for me, I'll try to pronounce it. But this is the 15th Doctor. I got excited because I watched the Christmas special that is coming this Christmas with the new 15th Doctor, and I would say he's alright actually. He's an alright Doctor. He's got a new companion in the new ones now, and I actually think he's kind of funny. And in the Giggle episode, he was wearing no pants and he just had like a shirt and everything, and I kind of found it a bit funny. So yeah, he's a bit funny. The 15th Doctor is called Ncuti Gatwa. Ncuti Gatwa. I don't know how you pronounce that. I hope that's correct. But I'll show you the name, so if anyone can pronounce it for me, I will much appreciate it. Like, if you can pronunciate it for me, but I think it's Ncuti Gatwa. It's a very weird name. Oops. Can I actually show my phone? Because my phone's very bright. Oh, it's a bit backwards on here. I don't think I'll be able to. But anyway, that's his name, the 15th Doctor, but he's going to be the new one. And I've watched the Christmas trailer and it was very good. If you haven't watched it, then go and watch it. But he's pretty much going to be the new Doctor now. And I can't wait for the new ones, because I might give it a chance and watch him, because I thought I wasn't going to be a big fan of him. He's a black guy apparently. He used to be in Sex Education, I believe. I've never seen it, so I don't know who he is, but it's interesting because I wasn't a big fan of like Matt Smith when he came on the scene as well. So in a way, I did eventually get to like him as well. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. You know, and you've enjoyed me talking about Doctor Who as well. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy your day today, guys, and I'll see you all guys in the next video. Bye, guys.